Welcome to Roblox Snippets. In this video we're going to learn a little bit about dictionaries and how they work and how you might use them. Alright, so we're going to create a dictionary and we're going to do it inside of a mod script. So if you come over to Server Script Service and click on plus and then find module script and add one in, then we're going to call our mod script, we'll call this speech mod script. Alright, and inside here we'll change the name of our speech mod to be speech mod. Now if you haven't used module scripts before, I have another video that you can watch before you do this one if you like, to explain how they're used, but if you follow along with the video you will probably pick it up anyway. Now inside of our module script we're going to create a dictionary. So the very basics of a dictionary when we do it in a mod script is to type the name of the mod that we are in and then put a dot and then a name that we want to call our dictionary. So this would be like a variable, and we can say equals and then a set of curly brackets. Now this is an empty dictionary, but you could also call it an empty table. Now the difference at the moment is that if you create a table, say if we put in say numbers like this is a table because it has items in here and they are referred to by an index number. So index 1 is 1, index 2 is 2. Tables, however, dictionaries, however, instead of using an index number, they use a string. And the way to create this is we're going to put in here the makings of a quest giver that is going to talk to us. So to start off with, we put two square brackets and we add a string in here, quest 1. Now this acts as our index number, alright, and it's referred to as a key. And then we're going to make this equal to, okay, another table. Now when you create these sort of things, and this is in a JSON format, all these end brackets can get very confusing. So it's usually pretty good to put comments at the end. So end, and then whatever it is you're ending. So we'll place this down here. And on this one we can say end, alright, and take this one and copy it and paste it over here. And then we can drop down a couple of lines. So for quest 1, for our quest giver, we would like them to say some lines when we run over a part, or they're going to give us a quest. So inside of this table, we're going to add in another key, alright, and equals, and over this side will be its value. So, and the first line that we want to say will be hi, this is quest 1. Alright, so we have this here as a key, this is a value. Alright, and it's the same with quest 1 up here. The key is this line here, and then anything on the other side is the value. And you'll see how this works when we run this very shortly. Now if you want to add more lines here, you simply put a comma at the end of the line, and we can say line 2. And then we can say equals, I have a quest for you. And we might want to have one more line. So we'll say line 3 equals, come back when you're done. Alright, now on the last line you don't put a comma. Okay, so it's only separating the two things, just like you would if you had a table, only no comma at the end here. And this forms the first part of our dictionary. Now we'll create two quests so that we can test. Now if you want, you can take a copy of all of this, so just this part in here, and then at the end of this bracket we need to just put a comma and then drop down a couple of lines and paste. We need to change this to be quest 2, all right, and then change your lines down the bottom here to be quest 2. Okay, so it might, and we'll change this here to be the end of quest 2. Now this might seem a little bit complicated to you, and how would you use this? But now that we've entered it, then we'll do something with it in another script, and I'll show you how you can refer to it, and it's a very powerful thing to use in your code. Alright, so let's come over to the workspace now, and we'll create a part, and we'll just change the size of this to be, say, 5.5 by 5, and we'll come down and anchor that part, and we're going to add we'll call this our trigger part, and we'll add a script to our trigger part. So trigger script, and this is what's going to trigger the lines inside of our module. So the first thing that we want to do is get a reference or create a variable for our module script, and the way we do that is to say local, and we can say speech mod equals, and then the keyword require game.server-script-service.speech mod script. And that will give us access to our module or our dictionary that we want to use inside of it. Alright, now we'll create a variable for our part, our trigger part, so script.parent, and we'll create a debounce value to control our script, and then we'll set up our touched function. So touched event, and then we'll connect a function to this, pass in hit as a parameter so that we can work out what's been hit or not. Alright, so we'll create a, we don't really need to know if we've got our character, so we'll just say local player equals game.players get player from character and hit.parent. Right, so we're assuming that a character is going to hit this and it'll return a player, and if that is the case, so if player and db, then we'll change db to be false, and then task.wait of, say, 2 seconds, and we'll set db back to true. So this will allow our players to run onto the part and trigger this code every 2 seconds. Alright, now we're going to run through those lines each time the player runs onto the part. So we need a couple of variables just to keep track of what's going on. So up here we'll create a new variable called next line, and we're going to set that to be 0, and we'll also get which quest do we want to run, okay? And we'll start off with quest 1 because there is no quest 0. And inside of here, since we started next line at 0, we're going to increase next line, next line by 1 each time the player runs onto the part. And now we can access, or we'll create a variable here that will represent the quest. Right, and it's going to be equal to, now we're constructing a variable here, and if we look into our speech mod, we're going to look in here at this here. This is the quest. So we're going to construct this variable here based on our variables and information we've already got. So back in here we can say if quest, all right, and then dot dot toString, and we will put in here our quest number. So as you can see, quest number is 1, and this is concatenating using 2 dots, so we're joining the string of quest to the string of 1, and that will end up equaling this here. Okay, we'll do the same thing down below with our line, so we'll say local line equals line, and then dot dot toString, and we'll say next line. And now I'll show you just in a print statement how to access and make use of this using this information. So we can say print, and what we do is we type the name of the speech mod, and then when we hit dot we get access to our dictionary. And if I hit dot, you'll see that we get quest 1 or quest 2. Alright, but rather than choosing one, we've created this here, which is returning a string. Now, I could just pick quest 1, but if I don't want to use that, the way to access it is to come back and put a set of square brackets and type quest in here. And that will get us the right thing there. And now, because we've got another string over here, we just move outside and put another set of square brackets with line inside of it. And that's all the code that we need to do in order to run through the lines for the first quest. So let's click on File and Save, and we'll play. Alright, so let's run over and we'll be looking at our output window, so make sure that's open. And if I run on, it says, "Hi, this is quest 1. And the next time I run on, I get the next line, "I have a quest for you. Come back when you're done." Now, of course, this is just an example with dictionaries, and if I run on here now, we get nil. And the reason for that is that in our code here, this next line keeps increasing to more lines than what are in here. However, if we wanted to test for quest 2, we would have to add more code to get this to work to go automatically to quest 2. But if we test for quest 2 now, just by changing this number, we can say save and we'll play. Right, so now we have quest 2 and it's going through the same lines that we added in quest 2. Okay, now this is a very simple example of a dictionary and how to use it. You can of course use dictionaries to hold lots of different information. They are commonly used for creating classes and holding lots of data about your game that your scripts can refer to very easily using this dot syntax and these square brackets. So I hope you enjoyed that video, and I will have other videos that feature dictionaries in them and using them in different ways. So I'll see you in those videos. If you found this video useful, subscribe now. For more information about my online courses, go to mrbrendanross.com.